At the whole world on Minneapolis this afternoon as Judge Peter Cahill read the jury's decision.
And following the trial from the very beginning is Fox 9's Paul Bloom. He joins us live from downtown Minneapolis tonight with more on today's verdict. Paul?
Kelsey, Randy, by our calculations, it took this jury less than 10 hours of deliberations. They got this case 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, deliberated into the evening hours. They got back up early this morning, 8 o'clock, poring over the witness testimony, the evidence, the weeks of trial. And in the end, with the world watching, they found Derek Chauvin guilty on all 3 counts.
Members of the jury, I understand you have a verdict.
Just minutes after 4 p.m., the historic verdict read by Judge Peter Cahill to a global audience because of the unprecedented access, cameras inside the 18th floor courtroom.
State of Minnesota plaintiff versus Derek Michael Chauvin, defendant. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty.
The jury of 12 deliberating less than 10 hours on the 3 counts of murder and manslaughter stemming from the deadly arrest of George Floyd outside of Cup Foods over a bogus $20 bill. Derek Chauvin pinning Floyd to the ground, a knee on his neck and back, for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. The agonizing scene of the 46-year-old taking his final breaths, captured on video from seemingly every angle and played for jurors repeatedly. Judge Cahill immediately ordering the defendant into custody, with a Hennepin County deputy leading Chauvin away in handcuffs. The prosecution team spoke soon after.
No verdict can bring George Perry Floyd back to us. But this verdict does give a message to his family that he was somebody, that his life mattered, that all of our lives matter. And that's important. And I also hope that this verdict, for all of the rest of the collective, all of us, will help us further along the road toward a better humanity.
It's also been just a total privilege to get to know the Floyd family and to spend time with them and get to know them. Because first and foremost, this is for you, George Floyd, and for your family and friends.
A little emotion there from Matthew. Frank, finally I want to give you a closer look at something some of you asked about after Chauvin was handcuffed. Take a look. Viewers observed something possibly written on the defendant's left hand there. Turns out it was his lawyer's phone number, so the two could talk afterwards. In the event, as it played out, he was taken into custody. Tonight, I can tell you, Derek Chauvin has been booked into the Oak Park Heights Correctional Facility. That is the state's maximum security prison. That is where he will remain. It will not be the Hennepin County Jail. Judge Cahill did not set a sentencing date in stone. He did say that's about 8 weeks away. And the presumptive sentence for Derek Chauvin right now is about 12 and a half years in prison. But, of course, Cahill will have a lot of leeway as he eventually has to decide whether there were aggravating factors that factored in to this murder and manslaughter conviction. We're live in downtown Minneapolis.
In hearing, you do get to hear a victim impact statement and perhaps a statement from Mr. Chauvin as well.
That's right, and there's still a lot to accomplish in this time period. You heard the judge referred to a PSI. That's where somebody will come to Derek Chauvin and ask him a couple of questions to determine whether or not there's any remorse, to determine his kind of state of mind, and that will be in a report that both parties will get to see. And based on that report, the individual taking that PSI assessment will give at least an idea on whether or not either certain penalties should be enhanced or not. So it'll be interesting to see what that PSI report says. But with this, we still have a long way to go. The judge will be the person who decides the sentencing, and we'll see motions by the state for an upward departure, meaning they're asking for the high end of the box, and we'll anticipate the defense asking for a downward departure, basically something lower.
We don't want to interrupt you. We just want to take a moment here and take you out into the streets of Minneapolis and just listen to some of the sounds and the sights that we're seeing right now.
going. Say his name. Say his name. Y'all can say both names. We want to say Dante Wright, we want to say George Floyd. That sounds good. Say his name. 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 We're going to take, again, like I said, we're going to take justice hostage. All right? We put pressure on their ass to charge him. We didn't put pressure, like, as a community, being down here, boots on the ground, putting pressure on our government. He would probably got found not guilty. So, we're not doing it yet. The battle's not over. All right? We still got more bodies. We still fighting for it. There's a lot of stolen lives that the state of Minnesota has taken from us. So we're going to head to that Brooklyn Center police station. Make sure y'all ask.
Grab the stick out of my backpack and you can start grabbing some sound.